Oh man, thank you for welcome to the Derp with Kurp. I'm Alex Kurp, and today I got a great guest at the last, pretty short notice, so I appreciate it. You probably, if you watch this show, you've probably seen his channel. I'm assuming, or been the Sam Tripoli verse. Uh, please welcome Yitzhak Weishaupt. Am I saying that correctly?
Thank you for
Yitzhak.
the beautiful enunciation, and I need to clarify my username before we go too far. So, yeah. So the name Isaac Weishaupt is not actually my real name. It was a play. It was a pseudonym when I started this journey of researching the occult back in 2011.
Is your real name Milikowski, like BB Milikowski?
No, but you're getting closer. You're getting closer. No, it was a weird thing because when I started out with this whole thing, I didn't want this to be a public part of my life. It was just I was blogging, right? And this is before people used to create content and make money off of stuff. And I had no intentions of
I
it
still
becoming
don't
a
really
thing.
make money off his stuff. I know
Yeah, no
people
one
do that.
does. No one does.
This costs me money. I don't know how I do it.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while before you start turning a profit. But anyways, I had some radio show wanted me to come do the show. They're like, "What's your name?" I was like, shit, I ain't got no name." So
You said Yitzhak Weishaupt.
yes, that's correct. It's the worst pseudonym you could possibly come up with in the world of conspiracy. So I am not. I'm German, but I am not a Weishaupt.
Or, as my friend Jimmy Dore calls it, a pseudonym.
There you go. Pseudonym.
Hold on, I'm getting a message to try Gemini in Google Chrome. Now, I don't know if that's occultic, but it feels like it. Try Gemini. All right, so around what time you say this was? Were you doing the blog? Like what year roughly?
So it was in 2011. I was actually I had a break before I started grad school, a 2-year break, and I was so used to researching and regurgitating and writing that I remember I graduated from undergrad, and I started playing online poker. This is back when you could play online poker with just pennies, you know what I mean? Like I was just playing just to screw around. I was like, I'm gonna be a poker all-star, you know?
Yeah.
And I found it boring after a couple months. I was like, this sucks. So
no, that's when people turn to close-up magic.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I know David Icke was the one that and it was a mixture of things, right? It was a mixture of consuming Ancient Alien stuff, Joe Rogan, David Icke, and all these sort of, and Bill Cooper, who's my red pill daddy is Bill Cooper from Behold a Pale Horse, right? And those guys kind of indoctrinated me into this worldview, and I was sharing those ideas, and it gained a lot of traction. So one thing led to another, and I started writing books and podcasting, and here we are.
Have you been approached by any real Weishaupt to stop using the Weishaupt name?
No. Someone threw me in some. There was a group chat on the Instagram of a bunch of Weishaupts that they threw me in. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it.
I mean, Weishaupt's probably not that guy's real name from the Bavarian one anyway, right? I mean,
probably.
This guy's got like 3 or 4 names.
Yeah. The like, secret names is always a part of the occult system, right?
Well, it's like the gods, it's all kind of the same gods and changing their names like they're Diddy, like they just did a crime, and now I got to change my name.
Right.
I mean, all these stories of the gods, they just sound like really shitty rich people.
Yeah.
That's what they sound like.
And that's who these occultists kind of try to make contact with it, and we'll get into this kind of stuff.
I mean, today, like our president Janus, the two-faced Roman, the guy at the threshold of the doorway of something Ghostbusters. Yeah.
There's a magical element to all of this because magic is a way for people to make contact with these deities and these entities, and they use secret magical names because they can't have the public knowing their real name, because then it has, because in this whole system of gematria, numerology, Twilight language, there's an energetic component to someone's real name.
Okay. So wait, there is, and that's why you got the names of God, and you're not supposed to say the name because that implies limits to the unlimited, right? That's like what's the blasphemy of that. And that's what the power Adam and Eve is, or at least Adam, but probably both of them, right? I mean, she's made out of ribs, but their power is naming the animals. And Tracy Twyman's got a whole thing about like there's something to where they had this power of naming the animals really good. Now, that's really interesting. What is that? What could they be talking about? And I always think about stupid quantum atom horseshit where they're not anywhere until you look at them. There's something about you, like what do you call it? Phase locking something into a shape, and that's that's why they got to hijack us with bullshit all the goddamn time. Because I need your projector to project a form for me. So I need to lay the groundwork of what I could look like, all these templates. And then when I project myself through your fucking eyes, like the parasite I am, I'll reflect what you've been preloaded with.
You're on the money there, because that was one of my formative parts of my journey was because I went to school for engineering, right? So I was in a class for physics. I took 2 courses of physics, and we talked about quantum in physics too. And it really blew my mind. And at the time I was getting into really new agey stuff. And, you know, what the bleep do we know is what it's called, like a movie and a book, and law of attraction. And what you're talking about is kind of like collapsing the wave, and it doesn't really exist until you look at it. And that is kind of, it's fascinating stuff, but it is connected into some of this occult way of, you know, manifestation, law of attraction stuff, where you can kind of create your own world and reality and so on.
Well, you can, but the thing is, it's somewhat democratic, so that's why you got to manipulate the consensus vote for what that reality will be. So that's the real magic, is having the plane of cause, which is like I own a media platform. That's why they always talk about your platform. Oh, your platform. Like, remember that became the word for everybody's goddamn show, or your blog was a platform, and all of a sudden you have a platform, and you have to. Around then, 2011, you start hearing this drivel about your platform. Well, that's a plane of cause, right? And you can create effects with that. You just need to disseminate the.
That's why all the billionaires are buying up all the media companies, and you know, right now there's a big deal. Netflix is trying to buy Warner Brothers, and there's surely a reason for that besides making money.
As long as they consolidate into just 2 choices, one way or another, we have a white and black square. That's all I care about, you know.
Yeah. Did you mentioned Tracy Twyman? You know, someone sent me a copy of a book she wrote called Genuflect, and I have not read it yet. I don't know if I'm familiar.
I started reading it online, and then but it's like gross, and it's one of them deals where these people write a fictional book about like real stuff they found. Now, I would rather people didn't do that, to be honest with you. But I guess it's dangerous to do. So I guess you have to go read the fiction of ex-spies, you know?
Okay. Yeah, Tracy's she was an interesting person, man. She was tied into some really strange occult stuff. I read Clock Shavings that she wrote, where she was doing Ouija board seances to Lucifer and Cain and all this stuff.
To Baphomet and to
Baphomet. Yeah.
The creepiest part is the thing about like they're doing this. They have dreams to make a better Ouija board. Like they're getting a download, and then they did make it. They made a better. You get to the letters easier, but the thing that's wild is she has no preconceived notions going in. I just want to see where it works and go see where it goes. Like if you were just following a story, but as I'm reading, I'm like, it's a horror movie. It's like you're watching a horror movie.
Right.
You're like, oh no, I don't, you know, she did everything. She did every fucking thing except put on a Christian necklace.
Yeah. Right.
Like she did every accursed thing you could do except putting on the sonnet shoe pendant. That anyway, little details were the most interesting. She got so many little details that were so interesting, and also noticed a bunch of things that really you can use to correlate a lot of data, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I've yet to deep dive into Tracy's research, but I've got a little bit of background on her, and she certainly was.
Dude, I don't know who would do. We had Chris Knowles on talking about it because it didn't end great for her. I don't know if you know that, but when you get involved in that shit, it doesn't end out good. It ends up not that good.
Yeah, that's what the whole occult thing is. And look, I want to briefly tell the audience who I am in my worldview real quick, so that they understand where I'm coming from with it, because I was born and raised in a Christian church that I didn't really love. It wasn't really my bag.
What church? What Christian church?
It was the Church of the Nazarene. It was like
what's that?
It's like a non-denominational rock band church, you know.
Oh, you went to rock church?
Yeah. And you know, fun fact, Charles Manson also went to a Church of the Nazarene back in the day. But
is it William Branham? Is it one of them William Branham fucking IHOP kind of things?
I have no idea. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so there's all the International House of Prayer. I just met a dude that went to it,
Okay.
There's a guy, Mike Bickle, that just got exposed as like, now you're going to want to buckle up for this. A PDF file. Now get ready to be shocked out of your chair when I tell you he was exposed as kind of a diddler.
Okay.
Anyway, they are one of the creepiest. See, I don't think people pay attention to other people's silly, spooky churches. Like, as soon as you said rock and roll church, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I used to date a girl that went to one of them. And boy, that I call them fuck church because a lot of young, hot performers in them. And they're all fucking. Okay, you might as well call it fuck church. That's a Justin Bieber fuck church, where the fucking pastor shows dick neck, right? The guy's got a belly shirt, and he's like, "I just heard from you." But IHOP, believe it or not, as creepy as that is, IHOP, I would say, is worse. There's one guy we played it on another episode where the guy, when I first had Neil from Nossick Informant on, the guy's talking about how Jesus was loving on him at 4 a.m. Jesus came into his hotel room. I just loved up on him all night long.
Oh, that's
and
odd.
then he told the guy about the talk he was going to give to these teens, and the guy was like, "Don't give that talk. This is a story." Whoever it was like correctly said, "Don't say that."
Man,
but he's telling it. He's a slick creep, and it's all Gnostic fucking Kabbalah bullshit. All of it. They all are into Kabbalah. Every single one of them. And you can trace it right back to that every time.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of let me come back to that because there's a lot of like Zionist elements involved with a lot of the sort of evangelical non-denominational churches, it seems, because they're all obsessed with this James Nelson Darby dispensationalist, let's trick Jesus into coming back and ending the world stuff. But
what are they called? The British Israelites? The one because I knew about this a long time ago because of this great book called Kooks by Donna Cosi that I had like 20 years ago when I was in art school. It was such a good book, dude. I think I got it when I was in high school. So it was like 97 or something. I bought this book before internet. She had the Kooks Museum, and she collected everybody's gibberish from Haight-Ashbury, from everywhere, like dinosaurs. So a lot of stuff which is weird as hell, I've seen in like animes and shit where like dinosaurs are the devil, or flat earth. I'd never heard of anybody being into flat earth. It really wasn't that big a thing. Well, there's flare-ups of it generationally, such as in the the time of all the cuckoo cults of out of Albany. That's where it comes from. And she had a whole thing about, and it was this town called Zion, Michigan, and they were a flat earth cult town. It was like Clearwater for Scientology, but a flat earth. And they had rules of no globularists. That's what they called.
Globularists.
And women were not allowed to ride a horse, probably, for some kind of vibrator reasons, I'm guessing. And you couldn't drink. They had all like Mormon prohibitions on things. Whenever they have that of don't put anything in your body like caffeine or whatever, I think that's it's like your Kobe beef or Wagyu. Like they want your meat nice and pollutant free,
Yeah,
well,
I see. Yeah, that's interesting. That's
anyway,
and that flat Earth. The flat Earth thing. It's rooted in, I think, James Nelson Darby was the one who sort of first proposed that, if I'm not mistaken. But
I didn't know that. Is that true? I had never heard that. I always thought it was that, but strangely, this Zion, Michigan town that I always imagined was some kind of Darbyist thing. No, it was a Catholic cult. So then I started thinking, I'll bet this is some Jesuit shit, because it's such a counterbalance. Like if I look at the motives of that, right? Like, hey, maybe the earth is flat. I don't give a shit. I don't understand how it matters to anyone. Mm-hmm. And I ask like, why, because they get you to believe that, they get you to believe anything. Well, no, they can't, because I don't believe anything. Also, if I get you to believe it's flat, I could do the same. So I'm still not seeing a difference. To make it feel like you're farther away from God, because what? I don't know what the fuck that means. Mm-hmm. To me, it's one of those bulwark beliefs, like back when Chappelle and what's his name, that rapper, were like, I don't believe in the moon, or we went to the moon, or Osama bin Laden is real, kind of. And they were like, oh yeah, I remember it. They've been on talk shows talking about it, and it was like a debate. I mean, by the way, they were probably right. I was, but it's like a fuck you belief, because it's a counterbalance to too much of a thing going the other way. So if I'm a thousands how many was 1,000 something years of Jesuit? How long have they been around? Long time. Like a CIA doing mind tactics way longer than the CIA, going back out like the Inquisition with the meticulous notes where you torture people and see when they dissociate. And I bet they learned so much, dude. And you got confessions from powerful people, like Epstein tapes of the powerful. That's what those confessions are.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got all these MK. I'm doing a deep dive into MK Ultra right now, and that's a lot of the stuff they talk about came from the Nazi scientists were really going for it, and in America we were like, we need to get in on this because they came up with all these excuses as to why we should practice these things. But when you look at the history of it, you'll find that we were doing, like Dr. Oscar Yanniger was doing similar research before officially MK Ultra.
You know what they did? They alchemically laundered their horrible shit through Nazis.
Yeah, totally.
Alchemically, the thing the Rockefellers that they're still into to this very day, they're all still into it. I don't know how many. Just the fact we have an Olympics should tell you they're still into it. A eugenics festival to pagan gods, and people like this year's was really pagan and satanic. Did you think the whole thing wasn't that? Like, it's the Olympics. It's not called the Jesus Games, geniuses. You already were at a thing that's like, if you believe in that, I'm not telling you what to believe, but you're at a Nephilim Games, dipshits. What do you expect there to be? Not lady boys and weird Greek shit.
Yeah, Hitler was the one that sort of let that cat out of the bag when he reinstituted the flame, right? Having the flame come from the Temple of Hera in Greece, and then the lengths they go to get this flame all the way to wherever the games are in the whole world. They'll fly it across the ocean. Like, it's insane. And like, there's a reason why they don't just take a lighter and just, hey, it's in LA this year. Okay, let's go light it. Right. It has to have this ritualistic
make a good show of it because it goes out a lot. Do you have ever seen like the saga of my internet historian, who I love his shit, dude, but he made a great thing about it. About the Olympic flame, how like bird shit, or one time they didn't know it was full of like pigeons or something and lit it. So the whole stadium stunk like burning pigeons.
Holy crap. No, I didn't hear that.
And so now they do like more mechanical things instead of having to rely on this. That's why I think we did go to the moon at the end of the day. Well, I didn't. Because you wouldn't put a blue Masonic flag up there unless you have to do that. Okay, if like an American flag, okay, you're faking that you were there, and that's to lie to me, the chump at home who is American, right? Okay. But you can't do that with a secret society flag. No, you got to fucking the ritual significance of that is, to me, is very great. And I don't think you're allowed to fake that. Now, I'm sure the multiple whatevers are fake, and I'm sure like what would happen if something bad? Everyone's going to get to watch it live on TV. They weren't going to like, there has to be something already built in. There's already missing footage with various explanations of like, they had spy footage there that they're collecting. All the way up to there's like lizards giving him the finger around the rim of the grave. They cut out the thing. They're here. They're giving us the finger. That's the one that I heard. I can't remember who told it to me.
I heard some of the transcript where they were saying they could see like fires, like campfires or some shit on the moon when they were sort of circulating around it. But I don't, I'm one of the people that doesn't think we've ever put a human being on the moon. That is an interesting sort of counter argument you've got there.
Well, because you're right. The idea we can't. You don't know what we could do. We probably got fucking flying saucers that we made. We could do all kind of shit, I'm sure. Do you get to know about it? Probably not. Like we're still fighting for oil, and I'm pretty sure there's no need for that. And it hasn't been that. Oil wasn't scarce. Colonel Prouty was correct when as soon as you watch a video of him explaining how they decided to make oil scarce, it's just like diamonds, like the famous diamond story. And then you realize, of course, it's energy. That's national security, your energy policy. And Rockefeller, so you got a prime warlock, fuck Satanist psychopath.
Yeah.
Like the guy who created the Fed, like that. And his house is in his cabin on Jekyll Island's built on some altar. It can't be. I think it's like Kachina stone. I don't know what the stone's called, but they don't have regular like stone altars. But it's on some kind of shit from that region, and that's where the blood altar of the Temeculans used to be, and their huts were laid out just like the original Indian village, and his was in the chief's hut above Yeah, it's wild
I
because you
haven't
can go
heard
there.
this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. You can go to the island and to the museum.
Oh,
You
really?
can find people talking about visiting the museum, and
Huh.
they got you can look at the NBA bones of these Indians. The kind of bones Smithsonian likes to hide. Big NBA bones.
Yeah, the Nephilim, right? The Nephilim giants
Well,
were
it
here.
can't be. Well, I don't know. They can't lore accurate. I mean, who knows? You never know how much of this is describing like a dead-on thing, and how much is like you know, I'm always surprised which I end up thinking is which. So I've been surprised many times.
Mhm. Yeah, the whole thing with the occulted history of our world, and I think you really nailed it. The point of all of this is this creation of a new reality, and that's why they you've got this mainstream media, this alternative stream media, this battle for our attention and our imagination,
Yeah.
which every time we seem like we're getting ready to break free from that, you know, the internet comes along, and the original vision of the internet was this sort of radical change in society that let information become free so that power could flow down to the normal folks, and they're busy trying to like consolidate this into being like, okay,
It does
well,
seem
everybody
like something
sticks
went
with
wrong
one.
with it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I think that totally.
unanticipated occurred with it. I feel like that too. But you know, like I said, I guess you know when the tree bears fruit, what you got. I guess I thought, well, okay, officially we got the internet because of CERN, because they need to disseminate the information from CERN. The CERN takes up 80% of like the bandwidth of Earth. You know that?
No,
Yeah, CERN does. It was supposed to be for CERN, and that way they could get this information of these like breakthrough racetrack atom shits they do to all the scientists of the world.
Oh,
And
interesting.
also probably there's another system where someone, I'm assuming NATO or something above America level, top secret, is collecting information first before it gets disseminated about these particle collisions. I know particle colliders are how we get metamaterials. Did you know that? I didn't until Nathan Reynolds said it on some interview. And then I remembered that element 115, that's Russia, Moscovium, that Russia made, but they can't make it stable, supposedly, which I'm sure they'd be honest about. I'm sure they would tell us.
Sure. Of course.
And they got it from a particle collider.
What were you guys saying?
Not CERN though, but CERN could probably make a lot of nice shit, couldn't it? If you could get metamaterials from CERN, I'll bet you can.
And don't you think that because I listened to you interviewed Giorgiani,
Jabroni, yes sir.
Yeah, I was listening to that. I was listening to that interview, and you guys, one of you has mentioned about the idea that UFOs were merely time machines. I'm paraphrasing the hell out of this.
Someone in the comments from last episode, and I was thinking this too when I read it, was because that's in Repo Man, the guy, the junkyard guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The thief from Conan the Destroyer guy, who's like, they have him portray Asian, but I don't think he's Asian. he was like, that was his theory, that it was time machine. They're just flying time machines. In fact, that's the first time I ever heard that idea was from him.
And that makes me wonder about the CERN connection there, because they're always sort of trying to, punch holes in black holes in the world and all this stuff. It's like, are they doing this?
Magnetosphere.
Maybe that facilitates.
Is the thing. Joseph B. Farrell has like the best. I would go with Joe Farrell every time if you want to know about that shit, because that's where I find out everything interesting about it. Like CERN's like, it's not exactly a Vatican, but it's like a kind of Vatican. It's like
really?
Like a sovereign particle collider. It's something like this. Not exactly that, but it's the same way those City of London and all these weird, creepy things. Washington D.C. Like Havasu.
If you read, so Dr. Jacques Vallée, excuse me, wrote a book called "The Heart of the Internet." I think is what it was called, because he was on the team that invented the ARPANET, which was the sort of the early internet.
Yes, I used to play Qbert with LaVey.
That's pretty.
He used to play fucking Qbert with Anton LaVey all the time.
What? You know that? Is that for real?
Yeah, you go look at the pictures. We would go to play Atari.
That's pretty good impersonation.
I don't trust that motherfucker at all. He's a fucking Rosicrucian. In fact, this city, Austin, is lousy with Rosicrucians, dude. Lousy.
Yeah. Him and Dr. J. Allen Hynek were both Rosicrucians.
Yeah. Oh boy, they're in a couple of great clubs, huh?
So you're in the camp of like distrusting them automatically if they're Rosicrucian. You think that's like they're part of the Illuminati? Okay.
At
Okay.
best, they're merely drinking their own pee every morning. At best, and it's not at best. It is not at best. Okay, these are all magic practitioners, and the
I can
ones,
see that. Yeah, I can see
the
that.
ones on the bad end created Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, they're a scion of theirs, Charles Taze Russell. That's why he had that black pyramid on his fucking great. And Blair White was on my show. The one with I think Ben Avery was on too. Blair White Russell, and Blair tells the story of her family. Okay, and Blair went to school in the goddamn pyramid. It's insanity. It's insanity.
Well, that makes sense.
They all have to make a cult, like a cult or a religion. All of them. That's your last final class project in the thing.
That's interesting because that kind of coincides with what I read in the Heart of the Internet book by Dr. Jacques Vallée, because he talks about the original inspiration was back at like Esalen and these sort of gurus floating new age consciousness ideas, and that was where the vision of a global connected internet, because they created this thing out of nothing, and this internet was this idea of connected sort of web over the globe that we could all sort of tap into, which very much ties into that whole what do you call it, like the perennial philosophy, this idea of us all. And it gets into Kabbalah and stuff like that.
Hey, what if we controlled everything?
Transcending.
That amazing idea. What if we just controlled everything?
Well, that's the problem. That's where I get stuck with it, because I think that some of these ideas, like the inner hippie in me, likes some of these ideas about democratizing information.
Inner hippie. What does that mean?
Because I have a very personal, like. Well, let me finish my journey talk, and I'll tell you what I mean.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I get done with my mom was like, okay, you go to church till you're 16, and that's no ifs, ands, or buts. So cool. I turned 16, bet I'm out, I'm done. And then I get introduced to the Greek Orthodox Church, Christian church, and I join, and I really love it. I'm an Orthodox Christian today, not a good one, terrible one.
Greek Orthodox or just
Greek Orthodox? Well, it could be Orthodox. Greek Orthodox is the specific church denomination I go to, but it's just a different flavor. Like I could go to a Russian Orthodox; it'd be the same teachings. It's just different sort of flavors and culture behind it.
A little more of that white sauce on it.
Yeah, maybe. and there's like a more mystical element to it. There's a little less, there's less rock band. There's a little less discussion about,
Although it
personal
could be on
decisions.
the covers of rock albums. They do have quite a get up. I mean,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it goes hard. It goes hard.
40K aesthetic. If you like Warhammer 40K miniatures, you're gonna love Orthodox.
Yeah, those monks in Mount Athos, they go hard in the paint, man. Those cloths they wear, I'm like, damn, that's.
I mean, if I was doing, they're all like, but all that symbology. Who's that Paju guy? I want to get him on, maybe the guy that I think he's Romanian, but he always is talking about symbology.
Okay, yeah, I've heard the name. I'm not too familiar though.
But he's Orthodox, and there's a very important component with symbology that the Orthodox have. That is a big piece of the puzzle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I love about Orthodoxy is like the sort of, it's more of a mysterious, mystical thing. And one of the people I really got into was Father Seraphim Rose, who wrote a book about Orthodoxy and the religion of the future. And he's the one that sort of unpacked a lot of these ideas about occult symbolism and pop culture and how. Name? Yeah, Father Seraphim Rose. Yeah,
his last name was Rose. Like Axl Rose, his first name. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like rock and roll church to me, but
I forget his life story. I want to say he was in a rock band, or I'm thinking of a different priest that I'd met. Maybe it was there's a priest in Africa that runs it's called Paradise for. Oh man, I forgot the name of it.
Just naming your kid Seraphim is kind of wild. That's like
he might have taken that as a title. I think he might have taken that as a title. I'm not.
Again,
I don't.
That's the one that Hasatan or the Nahash was.
Huh. Yeah. So my thoughts are like, I try to stick to the teachings of Christ, who says like, do unto others as you do unto yourself type stuff, and love your neighbor, all that stuff, which is like it gets very kind of like hippie to almost to a fault sometimes. But like I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm only here one time. I'm gonna try to do my best and show up for people, and I want everyone taken care of. And I do realize there's like granola.
Is it? I thought hippie was like and just bang whoever, and like also get high a lot. I mean, I know I feel like
I'm okay with those things, and I'm okay with some of those things, right? Like,
hippies where you like don't do it that good.
Yeah.
Well, that hippie thing. I was gonna say, like, when you go up with an inner hippie, I was like, was your dad in the Air Force and put you in a program?
No, my dad was in law enforcement though. He was a corrections officer, and he was a very hard man. He was a tough dude. But like Sam Tripoli always talks about this, how people who come from conservatives go ultra liberal and vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
And I got just a little touch of that. But my dad was a little more socially liberal than most guys that would be defined as conservative. So I don't know if that fits exactly.
What prison?
In Lancaster, PA, Lancaster County Prison.
Ooh, yeah, that's weird.
It's
I would never want to go to Lancaster prison. I can tell you that. In the heart of PA.
Yeah.
It's state, right? It's not a federal prison, it's state prison.
A county prison. Yeah, it's the county prison.
County prison. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I would hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're from that area, aren't you? Aren't you from back east somewhere?
No, Lancaster. Well, I mean,
Jersey or something. New York.
Ohio originally, and then Jersey
okay.
a lot, and a little bit North Carolina. But Ohio's right on the board. Pennsylvania's kind of like the connector of Jersey and Ohio in a way, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up going to South Jersey. My dad's family's from South Jersey, so we'd always go to like Wildwood.
Oh, that is south. I'm from Toms River in Jersey.
Okay. Okay.
And I thought it was more central because it's we didn't say hoagies like that. Some people that said hoagies, but we didn't really say it like that. We said the subs. So when it becomes hoagies, that's when I feel you're in truly the south of Jersey.
That's the cutoff. That is the cutoff. Go to Wawa to get a hoagie, provolone.
Yeah, when you get some water. I just want water.
But yeah, so there was the original vision of the internet and ARPANET had this sort of like connective vibe and this way of sort of taking power from the elites, because information is power, and being able to distribute it to anybody, right? Anyone from any class could do this. And to me, it seems like as society evolves, they keep consolidating it, and it's like the what do you call it? Like streaming networks, right? There's all these channels you had on cable, and now we're down to like 5 streamers.
Isaac, my dream is to make streaming Atlantis. Just a series of radiating circles of streaming molestation documentaries all day. True crime, murders, real sick shit. But you get them all in one spot. That dude, I'm for real. I have not seen half the molestation documentaries because I'm backed up on them. Do people not think there's a huge problem when like every single thing is a molestation documentary? Like everything? Name a thing that isn't. Give me the thing that doesn't have that, and I'll be genuinely surprised.
Did you watch the Diddy documentary on Netflix?
Oh, I fell asleep to it last night. I didn't mean to, but boy, what's his name? Really, 50. Really, people have said they've never seen him look so happy while he talked about a thing.
Yeah, well, he had there's a couple jurors that he interviewed on the Diddy for the Diddy trial, and the one chick was like, she was kind of like, you could tell she was a fan. Like she was going on about how, yeah, one time Diddy was kind of, he leaned back in his chair and kind of gave this smile, and I remember seeing that when he was on Making the Band, and I was like, dude, and I even watched those Making the Bands back in the early 2000s. And I was like, dude, like that's a next level fandom. And then later on, it's leaked on the internet, so I don't know, it could be real or AI, but it was leaked a photo of her with Diddy, and then it makes me think about all the
why would that not be the only explanation for that? By the way, if you're a fan of Making the Band, then you would surely know about what a piece of shit Diddy was to everyone on Making the Band.
That's fair.
So that's bizarre. You remember that, but you don't remember all this other crazy shit, because I know things I'm a fan of that I would keep up with like that, which certainly wouldn't be the rap of Diddy, but I would know, oh, it turns out this happened because I'm a fan, so I know what's up with it. So The only explanation for that, much like the people oiling up outside the courthouse I don't think that was organic because I think some creepy ass, as in the documentary, you got to find the dirtiest PR people. They go, we're going to take your gross things and make them a benefit. So we're going to have people oiling up with baby. People think the baby oil thing is weird, you know? So we're going to oil. People are going to be like, it's cool. He oils up. Come on. You're fetish shaming. Well, he's a slippery one, that guy, isn't he?
Slippery indeed. Yeah.
Like,
Well, they
got him.
Well, what I think is, who was it? Kanye West said that Diddy's a Fed, and I believe that. I do think he's a Fed, and I think that's the reason this trial.
All the hippies are Feds. All of the generation of everything all that stupid shit that you program with, that looking back now you could tell is pure, just programming, right? Like archetypes and fucking things that some institute came up with. Hunter S. Thompson's a big one, dude. Hunter S. Thompson. Think of a guy that like had no legal trouble, with a suitcase full of drugs that he wrote about. Everybody thought was pretty cool. Dude, Willie Nelson, or not Willie Nelson, Chong got put in prison for selling bongs online legally.
Right. And
but they let this motherfucker walk around with a briefcase full of, what did you say, adrenochrome?
Right.
I never heard of that until him.
Yeah, I think he was the first one that wrote about it, and he's the one that was taught. And supposedly he had all these like snuff films and all this crazy stuff, and he went to Bohemian Grove. I mean, it's funny to me how people don't see the connections here of like, especially with a guy like Diddy, who's got. I mean, literally, you watch this documentary, like, oh, Diddy murdered Tupac and Big. Okay, awesome, and they put him on trial for taking prostitutes across state lines, and I'm like, dude, you should have got him on, I don't know, domestic violence or murder.
Some like racism law that they were using to keep in, because of that boxer was dating a white chick, and that's what the Mann Act is about. What's his name? This is like a while ago. He's like really dark skinned. This is when light skinned brothers were still in.
I don't remember this. I don't remember.
But it wasn't. Yeah, Joe something. Oh, I'm so dumb. He invented the wrench or some shit, I swear to God, because he's into race cars. I mean, whatever. It was like that early, like when it's like race cars are starting to be a thing. Yeah, he would date like really blonde, like albino level white women, some real borderline ginger women as like a, and it would and I think probably a little bit of a fuck you. I think he was doing. So they made laws about transporting someone for indecent purposes. Which, like, what does that mean? It means whatever we want in the moment, such as this guy Jack Johnson. Thank you, Mark. Mark's in the mystery van right now, looking these things up.
Yeah, that's how they got Diddy, huh? With the Mann Act thing. I didn't know where that came from.
Well, I got to get Big Homie CC on. I messaged him on Instagram and Twitter, but that dude, I knew, and I think Whitney Webb. I know I must have heard Whitney Webb say it, but Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, prosecutor of Ghislaine trial and the Diddy trial. The Diddy trial, I'm pretty sure, based on all the stuff I looked at, and I've been yapping about it for like 4 years because I couldn't believe every new thing I would hear. But it reminded me of Jimmy Savile. Reminded me a lot of Jimmy Savile. Because somebody's a wizard, they always can't do the thing, but they can make money off of it. That's like true wizardry, is when you like. And then you have that like jealousy. I think they say in the documentary, right? That he was like, why should they get the money? Like, you know what I could do with my talent? Yeah. And in your talent.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. He was obsessed with taking other dudes' chicks.
Well, it sounds like his mom tried. The impression I got from the first one, and my girlfriend got it first, this impression from it. She goes, oh, and I didn't put this together, but his mom would dress him up, and play gangster dress up with him, like his dad. And he was kind of gay. And she, this is what was implied by what that childhood friend was. It sounded to me like that what they're implying. But by what's his name? I don't know, he had kind of longish hair. But his mom would like beat the gay out of him, and barring that, maybe try other ways to get the gay out of him.
I could see that. That's,
there was some kind of. It is plausible.
Was some kind of weird sexual oppression going on there of some kind.
Here's why I think it's plausible. It's very gross, but just because as a kid he would go to sex parties with his mom. That's why I think maybe there's just probably something to it. Just because he would brag to people that his mother could put both palms flat on the floor while standing. That's the thing he said. Oh, also he would smack her around like she's his girlfriend. The thing when
so
he
weird.
shut up and whatever, that like the Cassidy video, that's how he was with his mom. So that sounds like some like weird some real inappropriatisms.
Yeah.
Must have been going on.
And to bolster the argument that he's a Fed or an informant, his father also was an informant. His gangster father was an informant for the Feds as well. So I mean, he kind of has that going for him, and it's almost like maybe he was groomed to do this, to set this up, and it very much fits the Epstein thing, right? And Jimmy
they're all like
way.
splinter cells of the government. I think all these fucking musicians, the government got the CIA and when I say CIA, I mean like the dark occult parts of it. They got country music first, then they got hip hop. By the time of Elvis, you could see he gets drafted and comes back as a construct with his underage teen wife. Well, it was legal, I guess, to marry her, but she's not a general, some high up officer's daughter. I thought he was at a war or something. He wasn't. He was just, everybody used to just get drafted. So he's in Germany, West Germany, where the Nazis are still, the Nazis that played ball are running it. Huh. And MK Ultra is kicking out, and he comes back without his sideburns. So there's a whole visual of like him being gelded. And it's Frank Sinatra, that absolute creep. And please watch Tracy Twyman shit on him. It's great. It explains a lot. He reintroduces Elvis. Like, hey, see, now he's clean and safe. Like, I know he wiggled his hips like a black, but don't worry. We've shucked and bucked this Bronco. And then Elvis is doing plastic movie advertising for Hawaii because it's just become a state right then, hasn't it? When Elvis comes back and starts doing all these Hawaiian movies, Hawaii was not necessarily into that, I guess.
Yeah, it's so to hear.
But the elites love Hawaii because apparently before they had pig, they had cannibalism.
Oh, interesting. I know. Well, the Mormon church. So I live in Utah right now.
Oh my goodness, where in Utah?
Just north of Salt Lake.
Oh my!
There's a lot of LDS. No, I haven't. But there's a lot of paranormal activity. I literally saw a UFO just the other night. My wife asserts it's not, but I recorded this light in the sky that was stationary for 10 minutes, and I was freezing outside. I filmed it for a while, and I was like, "That's a damn UFO. Why is this thing not moving?" She's like, "That's a helicopter." I'm like, "The helicopter isn't moving. It's not just staying there." But
it wasn't a tower of some kind.
No, it was clear up. Anyways, yeah, I see a lot of weird stuff, and Utah is obviously home to tons of paranormal.
Well, tons of Air Force, right? It's one of them wide flat states that you can test fast things on. Right?
Yeah. They got
mountains and shit you can build in, and
they got F-35 screaming over it rattles the grass so damn loud. It's obnoxious.
And then you have a Masonic coven posing as a religion that controls most of it. So that's pretty useful. You have a Fed factory in the heart of it of occult mind slaves who've been programmed with Kabbalah. So of course there's going to be some activity.
Well, and then the intelligence groups, they like to recruit from Utah, like at BYU. They've got a recruitment, and that's why it ties into the whole Charlie Kirk stuff with the guy who did the thing he did supposedly, and they think that there's a connection there. But
people will blame one group, right? Like just the Mormons, but it's all of them. What ties Kabad Lubavitch, and the Moonies and the Mormons and the Scientologies and what else? They're all connected with some variation on Kabbalah and Atlantis. It's always got some fucking Atlantis related story, or you could say Genesis. It's all the same themes, but just like different perspectives, right? Mm-hmm. And they all believe in but why they believe in it? And it's like that guy Nick Land says it's one of the first circuit board design. It's because it's an overlay for your brain. It's another way of programming you. Human nature's programmability. That's the big Satan church.
Oh, interesting.
Secret.
Nick, so I'm digging into Nick Land right now. You said that he said that what? Repeat that one more time. I'm gonna look that up.
Long story short, the guy did a lot of amphetamines, and his Philip K. Dicks that came out of him were real cyberpunk versions of fucking devil shit. We're always looking for a new cool way of thinking about this horrific future envisioned by the maniacs who run this shit, and they're born with weird dicks for some reason. They all have a weird dick, like an Orphic egg, and they're gonna remake the world in their fucking weird dick image. So then they're not the weird dick. That's the only thing I got for this. But Nick Land as the one that capitalism is alive and it's like from the future and it's an AI thing. And I think he's just like putting a paint of technology. All these people that went to college to learn that to be like materialist fucking cunts that they all just put a coat of paint where you're just renaming some shit that's already been around that you would scoff at, but you're just going to rename it now.
Yeah,
and pretend
I'm with you on
thing.
that.
It's so. I mean, you don't got to be smart to see it.
Yeah, Nick Land was because I did like a 6 or 7 episode series on the Dark Enlightenment, and Nick Land is one of these sort of architects with his time at the CCRU, and in the CCRU Collective Writings book, they talk about all this kind of stuff, and he was really into this idea of. They were channeling these entities called the outside. It's like these adversarial H.P. Lovecraftian entities.
Wait, go back. Wait. He said what? He said they were doing that.
Yeah, they were doing rituals in the 90s with that CCRU collective that he was a part of, and as during that time, they were doing all kinds of wild experimentations and basically rituals and seances. And they said they claimed to be making contact with H.P. Lovecraftian entities, right? The Cthulhu.
So that's
mythos.
why that guy's gibbering about that now. The one who's like this quantum computer feels like the heart of a god.
Yes,
and then he goes, no, it's going to be alien. It's not going to be. It's going to be like a Lovecraft. And I imagine everybody's going, why are you doing this? Well,
yeah,
it's happening.
He was inspired by these evil forces I think he calls them the outside. But it's
that's
these forces
very interesting.
Of entities, yeah. Well, and when you get into that stuff, you'll find it unpacks to a lot of crazy worlds, like Jake and Dinos Chapman. Those are the two artists.
Yo, I was about to ask you about that because my girlfriend's got a podcast called Bad Art Show, and she did Jake and Dinos Chapman, and she did 2-part. Let me tell you what she did. This is real wormy how she did me. She did a 2-parter. So the first part of it is when their art was making it look like Warhammer 40K minifigurines is their art mostly. I was like, this is pretty cool. Oh, it's awesome, right? Yeah. I was big in their corner. Part 1, and she always doesn't want me to look the stuff up ahead of time, which I don't think is helping because I'm going to react really strong when I see the rest of it. She's just let me know ahead of time. I can help you make it better. You see what I'm saying? The second part, when I see their later artwork, which is dude, real creepy to say the least. Like kids with dick noses and blowhole mouths, and you're like, what is this? Like, no, just being really funny. It's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. So there were people that were mad too. They were like, I don't know, somebody in the comments, and I'm like, look, just tell them, wait till episode 2 to hold their, why are you attacking these guys? Because people hadn't heard of them. Then in part 2, you see it and you go, I think I know one of the Lovecraftian entities they called forth. It's the PDF file one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were. This is back. So the reason I know about them is because back when, do you remember when the Balenciaga scandal happened? When they were hiding these sort of like creepy type. I'm not gonna say the words, but like creepy type images with kids and stuff in the ads. And we were all talking about the narrative of like art and like questioning what these people are really into. And Jake and Dino's chat, the art you're speaking about was what came up. And it was interesting because that name sort of planted in the back of my mind. And then I'm reading about Dark Enlightenment and the philosophies of this accelerationist philosophy that they think, hey, capitalism's the end all be all. We know it's going to kill us all, but we need to sort of hammer down, gas all the way to the floor, no brakes, so that we
they
can
just reskin Sabbatean Frankism. They only do reskins, these assholes. They're not creative. That is just Kabbalah. We're going to go. It's like this spiritual bungee jumping horse shit that some fucking maniac, their inversion, what's her name? Gigi Young, who Dark Journalist always has on. I just randomly saw some short of her talking about it, but you call them whatever, they're inversionists. Okay.
And that's what David Icke says too. That's what David Icke always talks about with the archons. Like they can't create anything. All they can do is take something in existence and sort of flip it around.
They're all
and
ditties. Ditties and archon.
Yeah.
Ditties and archon. So
man.
you see the repeating pattern that it's everywhere. It's like, and that's why in the Hindu thing where like there's this level, or maybe it's Buddhism, there's these gods, but they're not really gods, but they think they're gods, and if they're in the realm above you. And I'm like, you could just scale that down to the normal planet, and that's just a bunch of billionaires.
Interesting.
So you like it's always a perspective trick is how they do these things. But first, you got to be primed. It's like watch that gut mentalist guy show where he tells you your bank card or whatever the fuck. These are mentalism tricks that can be done on a. If one guy does that, just like the Satanic Panic with the fake, it was just a few rogue therapists were, I don't know, were they working on a novel or something and they wanted to test out their fiction of a crazy ritual conspiracy featuring all the institutions, and then you just panicked because you're stupid, and these bad psychologists must have done that. Or do you think it was the government? Do you think it was just a few rogue acting therapists, or your fucking government that puts you in a new war every fucking few years, like it's Europe in 17 whatever? Does nobody that dawn on nobody? No, it's easier to blame somebody else because you don't want those. I want to flag wave and all that bullshit, and I want to go to baseball. I want to watch football, and I love Drake. You know Shane Gillis?
Oh yeah.
So Shane loves Drake music. Dude, I fucking love Shane because I'll try. It's like fucking look. I'm not millennial, dude. Shane's a much younger guy, so they get something with Drake. I don't understand.
I'm guilty too, Kurt. I apologize in advance.
I just don't get it. You know, it's like. But anyway, I text him because there's this picture of Drake in blackface. That's crazy looking.
Yeah.
And so I just ran. I haven't talked to him even in a while. I just text him like, "Oh, dude, I was wrong. He is awesome." And I go, and I heard he can rap. And Shane goes, "You don't like music. That's what it is." Well, I want to know what music you listen to. I'll say to him which music. Then I sent a picture after that of Drake at his bar mitzvah, and then him in a wheelchair making that fucking
Degrassi High. Yeah.
Dude, and then I sent him three more close-ups of his face he's making. Dude, Shane's funny as fuck, dude.
Yeah, he's the best.
Well,
let me finish that thought on Chapman because I think it's Jake Chapman. One of the brothers was in the CCRU with Nick Land in the 90s when they were channeling these entities. So just like you said, like there is a direct influence here, and these guys, they're into accelerating us towards this hell.
Wait. How were they channeling them?
I don't have the details yet of how exactly they did it. I just know they were doing it.
It forces the Messiah to come. I tell everybody, go watch Gary Wayne. See, the thing, if people aren't in, I gotta start. If you're not in somebody else's religion, and you're probably gonna stay away from anything they're talking about, especially if you're like, I'm not into that. But that guy Gary Wayne's great, and I'll tell you why. He does syncretism with. I'm a big believer in looking at the themes of the thing, and he goes, no, they want to make this, and I can tell, like all that revelation shit is it reads like a play, like not a prophecy, like a Shakespeare play that they put on every so often. They hit the beats of it's one of the classics, Revelation, and they're trying to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, like they want to have this battle with whatever, the whole reason you're doing all this evil shit is to force the Messiah to come. And it's some kind of war thing. And so I had never considered that. And he's like, but it only happens when God says it can happen. This is Gary's contention, even though they're trying to provoke it.
Right.
So it's just like, look, if we fuck it up enough, something has to happen. It's like the ultimate, I could just call it German existentialism, the way, what's her name did? I'm forgetting, Kay Griggs says it. She goes, I thought these were all Christian something, and it's like we're being ruled by German existentialists. And that sums it up. The guys in Big Lebowski were not nihilists. They were German existentialists. We're nihilists. We don't care. No, they're German existentialists. That's your leaders. If you're not comfortable with Satanism.
Yeah, totally. I see the parallels there. And there are a lot of the churches in America that support this. And people get wrapped around the axles on some of the terms and the groups and stuff involved, but they ultimately are about trying to usher Christ back to rebuild the Temple of Solomon. And it's weird because, Israel's okay with them because like the churches think that they can make Jesus come back to rebuild the temple, and at that point the Jewish people will then say, oh, we were wrong the whole time or something like that. But
that's not what they think.
Well, that's what some of the evangelicals think. They think that
what happens next
that'll be the ultimate
what happens next is Lucifer, the plasma ball of inverted souls that they've been building. Then what's next is the externalization of the tulpa, as Michael Hoffman says in that great book, Twilight Language. You know the externalization of the hierarchy. That's the Alice Bailey one, which is basically tragedy and hope. Tragedy and hope, the New Age spiritual version, because we need a one world religion for a one world government. Okay.
Yeah.
And this arrogance in Atlantis is why Poseidia. That's the king of Poseidia. I think it's Atlas or whoever, or Cain. If you read Tracy Twyman stuff, I don't know, but the arrogance of that, of thinking that you should run the world and it's going to be one thing and that's why it was destroyed. So in all the stories, it's the same thing. Some assholes makes his dick to the sky and he's a dickhead for it and he pays for it. And so, now we don't have telepathy. Like, what if you're a bunch of just humans, not even giants, dude, just humans. Okay. And you can use them like they could drop like flies. It's fine. It's a labor force. And you want to build like these amazing structures and you can coordinate them with perfect telepathic working as one. The way the Amish throw a barn up, well, that's cocaine, but ostensibly. Or Jehovah's Witnesses I saw would do these 2-day builds of a kingdom hall that, and it's because they are so united in one purpose is why you could make something, right?
Right.
Assuming it's not done shitty and whatever. Like when it's done, what if you could bottle that and especially do it with telepathy and not have to take the time to actually speak, which is what I think that Tower of Babel story kind of is about, is going from we don't even have language to now we have language itself.
That's what part of that Dark Enlightenment process is, because the end game, from my understanding of it, the end game is this fake utopia that they're always talking about, this digital matrix,
Epcot.
right?
It's called Epcot Center. Epcot Center was the first 15-minute city. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, that's true. And because Elon Musk is a part of this with that Neuralink, the Neuralink cap. He said that I forget what year he said that. Because he's always bragging about things that are going to happen that never do, and one of them was this Neuralink cap was going to have telepathy.
Some of them do. The remember his Boring company?
Yeah,
that was going to make that underground whatever it was, and it was that's a scam, Elon Musk, and where'd the money? And he didn't make anything. How do you know he didn't make it? Maybe he made it, and you just can't use it, assholes.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because my favorite people go, "What's your favorite conspiracy?" And I'm always like mad when they say it to me because I feel marginalized by it. Yitzhak, that's why. But I go, my favorite is the secret Starbucks, that there's some highway you can use that goes to the Getty and all these places that if you're Brad Pitt or George Clooney or Obama and you're in a hurry, you can take the secret highway for the really rich. That sounds like so believable. I mean,
that does when you say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, we already know Playboy Mansion had that for the actors to go fuck chicks. Don Cornelius.
Well, to add to that, Elon also said that we were going to have human beings on Mars, and maybe you're right. Maybe there's already people up there populating it. I
bet they got. If you've read Space Relations, now when Jazz Jabroni was on, he said he dropped a couple of fascinating nuggets of information. One is at that school, the Epstein school that he went to, where Bob Barr's dad was, who put Epstein there.
Yeah.
Bob Barr's creepy book, Space Relations, and there's 2 Bob Barr books. I've only read one of them, and it was hard to get through, which is surprising. You think a smut sci-fi book about filthy space sex would be like way more interesting, right? No, really hard to get through and creepy. But they had a copy of it under glass in the library, like behind, like it's some kind of incredible, like the way what's his name kept Alice in Wonderland in a special hermetically sealed thing. And the guy, Uncle Papa Hemingway, his brother, and they're searching for Spanish galleons, but it's Atlantic shit they want to find. They had he preserved his book like that, and also he saw Epstein pick up a girl from his school and glared at him. Epstein kind of was like, "Hey man, look," he gave him like a real moment out of the Wonder Years,
Yeah, I think Epstein was kind of probably some kind of smooth player type to these nerds, because they all were looking to him for advice on how to pick up chicks or to directly solicit them.
I know Curtis Yarvin. I met him. He came.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. I haven't texted him in a bit.
He's like a boogeyman to me, because I read all this Dark Enlightenment stuff, and I'm like, this guy seems
let me
like
tell
a
you
jerk.
something. No, he's not a jerk at all. He's a nerd. He's a genuine nerd.
Yeah.
And one thing was apparent to me when I told him he ain't in control of nobody's brain. No way, no how. In fact, I'm sure he's been manipulated in these circles. But there's all purely. I'm not gonna tell you shit they told me that, but what I speculate on after what I hear from him is he's another manipulated nerd by much darker powers than him. And a lot of the things he's saying are things that are like, this is what I said to him, he goes, we should, I don't know, the monarchy advocacy, but I'm like, yo, that's what we have now. That's what we have now. We don't have democracy and shit. We've never had anything but the 4-class system, ever. We've never had anything else. You don't get to have those things. You get to have a fake what do you call it? A simulation of them.
Oh,
we live in the simulation. Yeah, it's called democracy, assholes.
I kind of feel you on that, because it does seem at times that it's more of, people think we're living this like free market capitalist system, but it seems more like it's a socialist system for the elites.
You live in an ARG. You live in a QAnon. So QAnon's a game within the game, but your game is another QAnon. There's just levels of that. That's what a Hierophant is. It's the game master from Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. And that's why L. Ron Hubbard had that quote about the game pieces don't know they're the pieces, and the game master doesn't follow the rules. The game master is above the rules. That is old school Luciferian doctrine. They are the synthesis of they hold the seething energies of Lucifer in one hand. Oh, don't take too much of it or you'll do bad things, but it's okay if you did, but just, control it. And then I hold the good. I do a lot of fun runs with Jimmy Savile. Yeah. Do I break into the morgue at night and force myself upon the corpses? Sure. But then I do a fun run. That's called the balance of light and dark. You don't get it, Isaac, because you're not a real Weishaupt. You need to open your fourth eye, Isaac.
It's kind of like the Rockefellers putting that tree up and then donating it to the Habitat for Humanity. It's it's all a big Luciferian ritual in front of that Prometheus statue in Rockefeller Square.
God, yes, yeah. Do you ever watch? Well, that book I can't recommend to people enough. Twilight Language, because I was trying to find out what that was.
Yeah, I bought that. I haven't read it yet because I read the first one, Secret Society.
I have to read the first one first because I think it assumes I've read the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read enough stuff to follow it, but I got to read the first one. But when you realize all it is go watch a Mentalist show where the guy it was called Mind Control, I think. Remember that show? It was like a Learning Channel show, and the guy would Hypnotic Andrew Tate's fucking wizard, who's one of them pickup artists from the 2005 times. Iggy Semmelweis. It's a fake name, much like Isaac Whitehouse. Isaac Whitehouse. Isaac Whitehouse. And anyway, he has this dork who is a fucking hypnotist. And you know how Andrew Tate's like a human trafficker. That's what it is. It's all pimp shit. That's what pimp game is. So I have a dumb pipe, and that's why I wear dumb shit when I go on. I'm kind of not really dressed up for this, like I have been, but it's pimp shit. It's you're projecting your domain around people, right? And some people are either going to react very like so. For example, remember how everybody was trans, but they could at least play guitar back in the day?
Yeah.
Remember, like Motley Crue had a song called "Girls, Girls, Girls," and they were like, which ones are the girls? Would be what my dad would say, right? But girls were like, oh, look at that. They look like girls, but like they're into girls. And they can play guitar. What's one of the oldest scams in history? Right?
That gender bending stuff?
Dude painting himself up like a bitch and playing an instrument to get pussy. Okay.
Okay. I'm a big David Bowie fan, so I get it.
To somebody young like that projected something, the inversion projects onto them. They're easily brought in that domain. And I know now that I'm old, dude. I'm like, well, now I'm 48. So it's the old where like that child sense of imagination that would make you think someone's a good just because they're hot. Which is what they try to preserve, a prepubescent state of immaturity where you have no first of all, you don't have gaydar. They don't put gaydar in kids no more. I don't know if you know that. It's like a DVD drive it's like a CD drive in your laptop. There's no need for children to have gaydar. because none of them can see it, can spot gayness, and I can't. I think there are all the dudes that are young. I'm like, oh, this is a gay kid. I just assume they are in case. I assume they're a chick in case, just as I want to be I want to be cool.
I think what you were talking about. Were you talking about a show from VH1 called The Pickup Artist?
Yes, with Mystery.
Yeah. Mystery, yeah. You're right. He was like kind of teaching them how to sort of.
He had a big furry hat like Pam Anderson wore to the something awards.
With the big goggles and the flare. The flare, yeah, dude.
Like,
it wasn't. You weren't doing anything against anyone's will, but you were also sort of deceptively getting in their head a little bit. It was. I read the book because he wrote a book called The Game about peacocking. Yes, okay. The book was fascinating.
The game is what your leaders run on you. If you still believe in this shit, they're running the game on you. The game. You mean pimping? Since Ben, and they go pimp games, oldest game, and yeah, that's true. That is absolutely 100% true. And why is it true? Because the oldest profession in the world is hoeing at the temple. That's the oldest profession, being a temple fucking prostitute. They invented coins for the purpose. You get like Chuck E. Cheese tokens for the whores at your temple. Okay, so we still are doing all these things, and they shell game the names of all of them, but everybody's doing the same things of all that time long ago.
Interesting. Like nothing's really changed, just the names.
Yeah, and so if you start an MLM or a pyramid scheme or something, that you're the Hierophant, you're the dungeon master running the game, right? And there's a lot of dice rolls in it and shit, and you control it, that all. It's just a scaled up version of that. There's like one fucking game. There's just one, and they just do it over and over again.
What does Curtis Yarvin think about? I don't know how deep you got in a conversation with him, because what I understand,
he goes, that's powerful.
Oh yeah.
I liked him very much. In fact, he seemed like a guy that wore his heart on his sleeve when I talked to him, and he seemed like a guy who has had some very bad people around him that he is in no way as a nerd prepared to handle them coming at him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, and that's how these nerds are. And I totally get how it is. And by the way, Charlie Kirk, let's not forget, and who I went hard on. I mean, verbally, I wasn't like, and I wasn't like, I tried to not see that video, which I, for some reason, had to see. It popped up in my shit.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, huh?
Yeah, you have to see it. So we all got to see the King Kill 33. I get it. Thank you, Cash. 33. Yes, thank you. We get it. 33. Go on. But that guy didn't. This is what people don't get. People are in on it who don't know they're in on it. The whole point of doing this to the world is so I can have you in on it without having you in on it. Because once you do get in on it, now you're going to have to make a judgment of like, should I be doing this? And I like you, man. I don't want to have to do a whole thing of destroying your life because you're jeopardizing everything, but I will. Hey, let's go party. Forget about this. Let's go party at this place. And like, oh, what did you do last night, Isaac? Yo, it's gross, dude. Some dude was filming it. Don't worry. I talked to him. You see, there's a whole game you can run on any nerd you want. And also, stupid people are even easier than nerds. With nerds, you hit their arrogance first and not their intellect. That you bypass. It's been done to me. It's been done to me, dude. They hit me. Someone's going to get you is not going to get you where you're strong. They're going to get you where you're weak. They're going to get you in your blind spot. Like Scott Horton, who I stole having a pipe from, 100%. His pipe was a good to smoke out of, but I just like doing this. But he told me straight up, I got a blind spot for anything like religious. So the Bohemian Grove thing doesn't faze him. I really do like that dude. But we were yelling in a parking lot outside a mid-range steakhouse about it because his book, if you read him, he's dead right about, he just says 9/11 happened how they said. I don't know why that's his thing.
Wow. Okay.
No, it is a wow because the dude's very smart and you're like, wow, he's nailed like all this shit. And you're like, so it's something else. And he told me, he goes, I have a blind spot. I think he loves metal is what I deduced from how he's talking. I don't care. I'm just saying, dude, I don't care if they worship an owl, but they're pretending they worship something else. So my issue has never been with your thing. I'd like to know what the hell you are. The shapeshifter part is my problem,
Oh, really? Okay.
So the metaphorical lizard people, and I don't know if you found anything about what that is. I found everything from seraphim to they have a tech that can project it onto their face like a hologram that they've had for quite some time because they did psychological studies that people are afraid of reptiles. Have you heard that before?
I haven't heard that particular part. No, I mean the whole thing about the reptilian shapeshifter stuff is I go through phases of thinking that's insane to sometimes I'm thinking that's the only thing that makes sense because these people act like not human beings sometimes, you know.
Well, and yes, right. And by the way, buddy, you're right there in Salt Lake. You could find your way into the tunnels. Now listen.
Yeah. Supposedly they got the tunnels under
the
temples.
They absolutely have them. Make your way into the tunnels. Tell me if you see a guy who looks a little bit lizardy. I've seen a new one where a guy was talking about how it was because he went to some ceremony and the dudes there were so old they looked like lizards, but they were just so old.
Oh, really?
I was like, that's a creepy new one I haven't heard yet. Yeah, is that weird?
I mean, for me, I do think if there is a shape-shifting lizard race, that this ties into the bloodline going back to the Watchers and the Nephilim, and perhaps not all the Nephilim got flooded out, and
the Watchers are the first
bloodline exists. Yeah, yeah, they are. They were horny, man.
The Watchers is like, what really is alchemy but gooning without coming? I can't believe how stupid these things are when I look at them and I'm like, you guys are really out of your fucking minds that you have any of this shit.
It is. It's crazy.
It's like you don't see how insane this is? No, it's like a Nigerian prince scam. I got to help the true ruler of Nigeria get back his rightful throne back, or in this case, Ukraine or whatever. You help.
Well, don't you think that somebody must have had some grain of truth in here that made everybody buy into this stuff? I can't think of any other reason why.
You sell it with a grain of truth. So, I mean, look, I don't need to tell Isaac. It's like Weishaupt about how to do a little bit of Kabbalah, right? Just do some Kabbalah. It's called Kabbalah for a reason, because it works. All right. I forgot that I have to read these chats, Isaac.
Let's get that super chat going.
Yeah, this is one of the best run live podcasts in the business, which I'm constantly getting these messages about. And I thank you. And I will continue to be the best run. Okay. This is from Susrando 7887. Susrando, you would think nobody thought of that, but all right. Any thoughts on Ozempic originally coming from reptile venom? Supposedly they found it in, I heard that, Gila monster venom, which reminds me of the Phoenician stuff. Guess what? All the things come from that. So it's not just that. All of the drugs are derived of poisoning someone and harvesting their fluids because they alchemically changed the shit. What does alchemy mean? Like chemet or something, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it comes from like alchem. It's like the fertile soil around the Nile River in Egypt,
right?
Where it originally come from.
Fertile, black, original soil.
Like good stuff.
Not Yakubian technology, like you're probably used to, Sus. Okay, thank you, Sus. Stank Jesus says, I took a day off and bought some of that Fire MK Ultra existential crisis weed. This episode is going to be great. Yeah. Overwhelmingly, and I heard this. 2011, dude, were you hearing about Monarch back then?
Project Monarch?
Yeah.
Around
That's
that
when
time.
I first heard of it, and I dismissed it then.
Oh, okay, like Kathy O'Brien's stuff?
No, that I heard about in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I certainly dismissed. I was 15. I was like,
yeah,
the president wouldn't have child slave whores.
Yeah.
With the president of the United States. You're telling me
Bob Hope wouldn't do that?
Yeah, a country founded by slave traders and wizards would. I mean, it's just, and by the way, Washington, don't go to Saudi Arabia. They have slaves. Washington, D.C. all the buildings are from slaves. All the Egyptian style slave buildings. Anyway, let me get off on it. I'm not going to get through these. Prague Snob. Prague Snob says, Kurp, I'd like to hear you deep derp dive on these cults covering as churches like IHOP. I live by IHOP. And there's a ton of controversy and weirdness. Oh, I know, dude. And okay, I'm already trying to work on that, dude. There's a guy who's on, and I can't remember his name, and I watch his channel, but he was in that. And so he exposed it. But Jim Jones comes out of the tradition. IHOP and Jim Jones come out of the same fucking creep. Brownham, his name's Brownham. I mean, Darby's just one con man creep. They all get the same story. They're a con man bigamist who suddenly becomes a religious guy. All of them, they're all like that. They all got like 3 wives, and they do close-up magic, right? And then they fucking Let's see. Stone D Ministry. My favorite joke is that the transfiguration was secretly witnessed by Peter, John, and James. The story is found in Matthew. Have on Gary Wayne. That is one of the things I would ask Gary Wayne. Two things I would ask Gary Wayne. One, I still don't understand circumcision at all. I don't understand. Okay, and I also, that sounds so. Oh yeah, he came to us, but he's also in a different form, and also you didn't see it. That yeah, because the Branham guy. But again, I don't look at the way I look at the Bible is this. What are the salient points to me? It's not whether the Trinity is the thing or the fucking, if he, Jehovah's Witnesses were like, he didn't die on a cross. I don't give a shit about that. What matters is a legal out to your slavery you're born into under lizard people for some reason that I don't understand. And I don't know if they're actually lizards, but they want you to feel like they are. And they want to feel like they are because I guess it makes it like they're a different species when they eat your kids. Hey, we are what we pretend to be, Unvaccinated guy. Oh, it's both flat and round. We live in a holographic dimension. Our perception of reality changes to scale. That's an uncharacteristically cogent remark from an unvaccinated guy who usually, after he says it's both flat and round, he would say it was like my dick or something. Terrible joke writer. Excellent thought from an unvaccinated guy. Excellent thought. I also think that he's right about that. All right, Dylan Farnham. Boy, God, I have old ass eyes, dude. Mark, get current contact with Dr. Catherine Horton. Oxford physicist believes she's being targeted with microwaves. Oh, okay. If I can get Catherine Horton, I will get her. I gotta tell you about it.
Is that like a directed energy weapon?
Yeah,
remember how Cuba, the embassy of Cuba, they were getting, and then they came out and said, "Oh, that was fake news. It never happened."
And then they paid settlement money to the people who the fake thing happened to. The CIA did. They won't pay for vets with Gulf War syndrome, but a thing they said was just cicadas. And not a direct energy weapon from Cuba, the leader in such weaponry, obviously. Cuba. Cuba has that. Yeah. But not us. And we didn't experiment. So, okay, dude, shit. I don't know how much before Jimmy Tell, because Bill Binney, famous guy, NSA guy who had the thin thread program that would have not violated your rights to catch terrorists, but because the terrorists are made by America and this is just an excuse to take your shit, they didn't want to use thin thread. And they tried to, his story is great. They tried to fuck him real hard, but he was smart and they couldn't, a long story short. But also, I think she's the one that said we're being targeted with direct energy weapons. Now, this is a while ago, dude, before I had looked into this. It sounded fucking crazy is what it sounded like. Yeah. And she was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to like. So then not a couple months later, that story that the CIA has finally debunked Havana syndrome, but they're paying health settlements out to all their people there. So I go, wait, so they did that immediately. That's what I assume, because it makes no sense. And so I've always wondered about that, because the great, what's her name? Mae Brussel, old school conspiracy chick that my boy Andy Hunt turned me on to. She claimed she thought she was being killed with W rays or M rays or something by the Aquino outfit. After the shit she said, yeah, there's people out. I didn't get into it with Jazz Jabrani, but he started looking at Michael Aquino, and just so you know, no, Michael Aquino wasn't a good guy that got smeared as an innocent military Satanist. I mean,
he had a weird story about his death. Like, did you see how he supposedly died?
And
then a few years later they said he died. And I emailed the people that were running his website, and they gave me some weird response that was cryptic. And I was like, dude, is this guy dead or not? I don't know.
He probably whacked himself. It's because another faction has taken over since then. Listen, I would say go listen to all the far out whistleblowers on that guy. And I'm not telling you to believe jack shit. Just hear him out. And just listen for things that were like, I've never heard nothing like that before. And that's what's important. And you keep those in your head. And then when new things pop up, it should ring a bell and you go, oh, weird. And that's how you'll start putting shit together. And anybody that, I'm not that smart, dude. It's not hard. It's just like, how do you forget everything? That's why I understand there's things called psychotronic weapons. People can't remember fucking shit. They can't put a big picture together. They're trained not to. All of college, people I know they're experts, John Kiriakou was on Jimmy. Go watch the one that he was just on. And I like that dude. I learned a lot from him. And they're trained to not like look at the thing. They're trained to be the thing with the elephant where you got your hand on an elephant. They literally psychologically created everything to make you that, where you will be like, I'm just an expert on this, and we need people that are experts to look at the whole thing. Everybody needs to look, not stay in their lane, really, and just for free. Don't try to charge me for it. Just for free. Take a look at the whole thing because it concerns you just as much as me. That's all. Okay. Let's see. I will try to get her. Honestly, I figured they'd be dead from Rays by now. All right. I hope they're not. It's scary. I don't know how to deal with it. All right. Unvaccinated guy. JP Morgan sunk the Titanic on purpose and eliminated the Fed Reserve skeptics to usher in the Fed on. I used to think that was because I was like, why go to that amount of trouble? It's like not very targeted to get everyone, like you really got it. But that's because I didn't understand that it's a bonus to get a bunch of innocent people with it. It's a bonus. It's not they don't give a fuck. It's the most powerful trauma magic you can create, a tragedy, and just steer people. So, such as in the movie Titanic, the guy that they make out to be a piece of shit, Billy Zane. No, that guy was a hero. He got everybody off he could on the boat, and there were spare seats, so he got on last. And because the fuckface that ran the paper, the famous. The guy that I'm so dumb. Citizen Kane's about. Who's about Citizen Kane?
I never seen it. If you can believe that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that guy just didn't like this dude, so it's a personal grudge. So he has a plane of cause, and then so he put that out, and then James Cameron in his movies smearing this guy who was a hero on the boat. He didn't do nothing wrong.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, most of the big things are like old spells from creeps. Let's see. Mini Mite, great Mebsker. TikTok, Tick History. I watch Tick History sometimes. He's a bit too much faith in the capitalist system for my taste. Not that I subscribe to a stupid nerd system that was written down at cunt school, but don't make a false god don't make a false god of Ayn Rand. She used to date Eddie Munster Rothschilds, the shitty, that's who John Galt is. I believe I'm saying his name right. Am I not, Isaac? Eddie Munster Rothschild was the.
I don't know, man. You got a black belt in this shit, man. I'm
not saying it right. I'm being a real jerk. Let's see. Here's some. Oh, now why I like him is he's right that National Socialism and the other one, fascism. So the Italian fascism was really National Socialism. It was you're a citizen of Italy, so you get this shit in socialism, but not immigrants. So there were Jews in it. Okay, that's why it's called the Zionist Fascist Party early on. The fucking Nazis who are National Socialists, they define nation as race, like Israel. So it's racial socialism, but they call it National Socialism because that's how racist it is. But people that are socialists don't like it because they feel like it's a bad mark on socialism. And I'd like to say, hey, nerds, go fucking fuck yourselves. I don't care what you studied at cunt school and you queef about now. Where's the results? Where's the fucking results? That's how you know Curtis Yarvin ain't in charge and the other guys. The nerds aren't in charge. In fact, all these wizards come to a sticky end. John Dee didn't live a great life, right? They're all John Dees. And they're the best. The guy who had the best time was that British one because they didn't catch him till after he was dead. Anyway, let's go on that thing. I get on rants and it's, a lot of people say I don't do it enough. So that's why I'm doing it now, A lot of people are like, hey, Kurt, you should just like blather on and on for a while and not finish the thing you're doing. So I'm responding. Okay. Chris Cusimano. Hey, Kurp, a comment. I wasn't sure he would laugh at that, by the way, when Lev introduced me to him, and he did, to his credit. Made last week about the tall whites over cloning themselves. It does sound like the Telelaxu from the Dune, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Why is everything in Dune? I don't understand it. David Tell calls Dune a love letter to ISIS. He goes, that love letter to ISIS. All right, let's see. Unvaccinated guy. City of London is its own country inside England. That's been debunked. It's something technically slightly different, but really it is that. Which is inside the United Kingdom, a bunch of shell countries milking maritime law, much like Delaware. Okay, what's the next one? Isaac Isaac Weishaupt last seen leaving wooden plungers in the toilets of the School for the Blind. Now, are you talking about the guest Isaac Weishaupt on the show now?
That's got to be the only one.
Isaac, is this true?
Guilty as charged.
Oh, USA Patriot Crickets. Tom DeLong contacting John Podesta. Boy, I bring this up to Jesse Michaels every time. I go, is that not the craziest thing you ever heard, that he wrote to John? Why would John Podesta be the guy that you contact for that? Here's my first question. Pizzagate Podesta.
Those books are written. I suspect that those books that Tom DeLong wrote were written by Peter Levenda, because, you know, if you read Peter Levenda's books, they read almost as sort of the same way.
Oh, that's a very good. Oh, that's I know that's how people's books work. That's a very
because I think Tom DeLong
possibility, dude, for sure. Let's see. I would like to have Charles Carroll on. I got weird because of that fucking Fuentes thing. Hey, Ian Carroll, I messaged you, didn't I? Go, that kid's no fucking good. And the reason is he told people to go in the Capitol on January 6th and nothing happened to him. Then he had them come to his rallies and take their picture next to him with their ID. So that's case closed on that one. Even if it wasn't, he's a fucking scumbag racist and he's gay. What are you talking about trad when you're gay? You're a fucking homunculus. You're a test tube homunculus who is gay. And then when you say these facts to people, they go, you're a Jew. So that's how we know he's both gay and probably some kind of Ashkenazi. And I got nothing against Jews, by the way. But Zionists, I have to be honest, I'm starting to see him as a little bit of a flat soda.
Kurt, I think they're talking about Charles Carroll from Sam Hyde's crew.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. My bad.
What did you think I said?
No, you're talking about Ian Carroll.
Oh, I forgot Ian's last name is Carroll also. But all of them, there was a love fest to Fuentes, remember?
Oh, yeah,
for like a week. And then after Charlie Kirk died, I want that Amaruka guy on America Uncovered, because he mentioned it too. And he knows Amaru is the name of America. So he knows, even though he can't like read the word, I keep saying Tupla instead of Tulpa. But whatever. I don't hold that against him. Let's see. Tell us about Grundle Sweeper 6069 says. Tell us about Joe Rogan and Peter Thiel's AI Jesus push. I don't know yet, but I will be asking Joe about it because I'm going on there pretty soon. Tell us more about how Christians are wrong, but Joe's out here promoting a robot Jesus. Well, I didn't say Christians are wrong. Just most of the Christians that you would call Christians are wrong, which is what Jesus said. It will never be an awakening or revival where the narrow and cramped road that few people find will never be the wide road, which is the destruction road, if you read the goddamn book. It's very simple. I mean, it's like people that are liars got to complicate shit to a degree that is unbelievable. It's like watching Kash Patel explain to Megyn Kelly. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen Kash Patel and Megyn Kelly.
She goes, "Do you believe you caught the right man?" Megyn.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yes.
Yeah, Megyn. He arrested him, so clearly he does. Why would you bother? Oh, did they tell you to ask that question? You fucking
they're serving it up.
Auschwitz skeleton.
I also second this question for Joe Rogan too, because in my Dark Enlightenment stuff, I go through all of this stuff, and if you read through the leaks from the Peter Thiel Antichrist lectures, he's you'll notice he's laying out a path to demonize anyone who goes against the spread of AI, right? And you see all these laws being pushed to stop states and any organizations from slowing down AI, and it really fits into that whole Nick Land CCRU, Dark Enlightenment, technocracy stuff of we need to bring in the AI gods at all costs.
Then the Messiah will have to come and fight it, and then I'm like a good guy, because like how Judas is kind of a good guy when you think about it, because somebody had to do that, so I'm kind of a helper.
Right.
I guess viciously molesting you and mind controlling you, I was kind of making you strong. You got to give me credit to Lucifer. Okay, wait. Let's see. Where is it? Tell us. Okay, we got that. The original Rockefeller was a con artist. Yeah, his dad was named like terrible, shitty Mike or something. He had like a name like he just sucks. It's all Joseph Smith family. They're all con artists. They all come to America. They're like, I don't know Patrick Bet Value, but the kind of people that are like Assyrians from Iran, and they create an MLM. You know, but he might be one of the good ones.
There's a school of thought that the Joseph Smith was not a con man, and in fact, he was doing the same Enochian rituals, using the same Enochian language that John Dee was using, and Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons.
That John D. Rockefeller was using? That's what Duncan pointed out. Yeah, John Dee. Close-up magic and lies are a huge part of real magic. Why? Because the thing about you creating reality is true to a point, but if I want to really change reality, I got to hook you all together like computers, and I got to program you to project the reality I want to project, such as 9/11 was done by somebody other than your fucking leaders on purpose so they could do what they do now. And once you figure it out, it's too late, because there's a new generation of fucking idiots that are going to go, you don't know. Oh, yeah. You see how perfect the system is? And by the time they're my age, 48, they're still talking about fucking anime and shit. You see how perfect that is? Okay, wait. It's Derp's verbal tsunami crashing into my pre-P brain. Then why aren't your super chats for more money? Okay, wait. Let's see. Daniel, are you from the reality that says use or utilize? I don't know. Also, have you ever seen the new JW headquarters garden? I have not, but I will look that up. That's a good, interesting thing. Again, I think most of these new cults from Albany in that time, and Jehovah's Witnesses, by the way, didn't vote, couldn't join the military because it was evil to fight in a war, and they're right. They're not wrong about that. But what I don't understand is the people who start these groups, they are hierophants. They're getting a D&D game going of a sort. That's why your church cracks down on your imagination so much, because we need it focused or our thing becomes less dense. Okay, let's see. Mini-Mite. China just got done claiming they got a human sister species skull dating back 1 million years that we as humans would have been around too. Yeah, dude, you know what? There's a lot of, I mean, look, just in basic bitch like science that you get from what's his name? Mike deGrasse Tyson. You watch that guy?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Do you like Mike deGrasse?
I do. I'm actually not a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't trust him.
Why? Does he seem smug? Why? Is it suspicious that he's real smug at like a flat earther, but he thinks that gender is a spectrum? Because I found that to be a bit suspicious. Don't laugh at a flat earther if you don't know if peepees and wee-wees go on what. That's not science, is it? It seems to me it's why does it seem that way? Because you're a goddamn Luciferian? Why do all your bosses believe in Atlantis? That's another question. Okay. Have you seen that? Yes. Okay. Did you see the interview with Zachary King, the High Wizard? And he talks about making Bloody Mary's face appear in the mirror. So maybe that happened. But look, here's the part about Zachary King that I don't buy. Not to say there might be many true elements in his story. Okay. But the part that's, I have to tell you, seems overall suspicious about like, so he leaves being the High Wizard. And I can see them having that because I've seen that video with Pink. It's creepy as shit, that shit. But then he decides he wants to leave, so he does, and he works at a mall kiosk. And then a woman comes up to him with a pendant, and he has a vision of the Virgin Mary telling him he's going to work for her now instead of Isis, who, by the way, she is Isis, you Mary-worshiping pagan freak. So he's like out of the frying pan into the fire as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to be lore accurate. It makes no sense that that Fatima shit would be validated, for example. That's all fucking divine feminine. That's the thing the Templars were helping to bring back in a big way. And that's why Baphomet has tits and a dick. Okay, wait. But some creepy Bohemian Grove, sure. A lot of people are going to do a lot of limited hangouts. I believe Christ said that in the last days there would be limited hangouts where they reveal some things to hide bigger things. And a big homie CC that I want to get on here so bad. I saw him tweet it. I was almost going to tweet. I always say that, but I was like, I'll tell him when he comes on. But they can never do disclosure, ever. They could never, until Judgment Day, if that's a thing, ever disclose what they did. It's so beyond. The reason it's so horrible is to make it so you'd never believe it and get away with it. So if they told you what they did, that's why it would shatter your world. It wouldn't shatter your world if you found out there were aliens. But it would shatter your world if you found out your leaders eat your kids sometimes. That might shatter your world. Okay, let's see. Have you seen the presentation by Dana showing Candace Owens' father's yeah, so her dad's company did management, Sandy Hook. Now, Dana has found like the process. There's an artist. There was a process church artist. She found a lot of great shit. Here's 2 problems with the Rotting Jewels channel. They're just, I mean, I watch it, but I still don't understand. Okay, so her dad was a Sandy Hook janitor guy, and Sandy Hook is a CIA spook town, 100%. But that does, like, look, I don't know where Charlie Kirk came from, and I think his dad's suspicious, but I do genuinely think Charlie Kirk was Truman showed. And as he started to realize what it was, then it was time to like sacrifice the boy. We fattened him up. Now sacrifice him. That's what I think now. So there's no reason Candace Owens would not be the same thing. Okay. What happens is you'll find out the degree of programming based on what they do. I'm not hearing her tell me lies at the moment. Now, look, the reason I didn't like Nick Fuentes, he would say some things that are true, that Israel's a problem. Then he would say some fucked up racist shit to crap up the good thing he said. So when I hear her do that, I'll be the first one to tell you. I corrected her on Jimmy's show, not to be a man about it, but not to I did have to mansplain this. She said the Soviets invented concentration camps. I didn't know it was actually Cecil Rhodes and the British. So, and I think she says it now, to her credit. I've seen her get more shit right. But if her dad was that, which he probably was, and it was something bad like that, then there's a good reason she can't go in person at TPUSA, because they'll kill her. That's what I would say. If I were her, I would not go.
Yeah, because wasn't there a big stink because she got offered to debate and then she said she couldn't because her husband's birthday party was happening or something?
Yeah, Dana. Look, I like Dana's.
I'm new to this whole. I'm new to the whole drama of Fuentes Owens. I'm brand new to it. I don't follow any of these guys.
What sucks about the drama is because look, I don't earn my living from this. I lose money on the show. It's solely my fault. It's not anyone's fault. But people, you know, like. I'm like hesitant to go to Tim Pool fucking show. Didn't want me to go because I'm like, dude, he was pushing red heifer shit, dude. The red heifer
stuff like that, yeah.
So and here's what would make me hesitant, because somebody was shooting like drive-by shot at his house, right? So that's scary to me. Yeah. And the red heifer thing means you got lousy Mossad motherfuckers around, the kind of people around Charlie, and he didn't turn out too good. Not that I think Tim Pool would kill me or something, but I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of, Jonathan Kahn on. That goat hoof motherfucker. Have you seen him? He's gross. Huh. I warned Tony Merkel about him and Marzulli. Marzulli calls the Palestinian starving kids Amalekites. So that means he's a rotten fuck at heart. You know who would never do that? Nathan Reynolds. Nathan Reynolds told the truth about everything when it happened. I seen it. So that's how you tell who's a Christian and not a fucking Christian, by the way. Not who their dad is. But anyway, best of luck to Dana. I get information from it all the time. I just don't like rock music editing shit. I don't need it. You know, you don't got to just ditch the music video shit. And also, whatever. I get information off it. It's worth watching to me. I say. Okay. I just finished reading Tragedy and Hope. Thanks for the recommendation. It's eye-opening. It's all banks. And they should call the book Banks and Pirates. That's true. That's a great. Okay. James Stewart, try to send you some unreleased scholarly work to you on Gates Hole. What is Gates Hole? All right, well, I'll look out for Gates Hole. My new conspiracy theory is Ari Shafir is a Mossad agent. Why does he go off grid in South America for 6 stints? Was he really in rabbi school in Israel? Yeah, he was. And I mean, you could tell Ari was 100% went to yeshiva. Ari knows all the shit. In fact, I got along with Ari like we were brothers when I first met him, right from the start. And the reason is I could spot a guy that went to religious training young a mile of fucking way when I talk to him. It doesn't take long. Fact check me, Derp, publicly shaming me into another super. Here, have $1. Feck me. Oh, feck me. I've shamed you into a super? Who is that? Hemorrhoid hurts?
You're saying he should have gave more money on the super chat earlier.
I was, don't listen. don't do that. I was really joking, and I apologize. Okay. Bergrun Institute, Niels Gilman ran TIP, Transition Integrity Project. That's the real Derp. People got stupid Derp language. Kyle Dunnigan made that up. Do you know Dunnigan?
The name rings a bell.
He does impressions. We used to make pussies and all this other shit, and if you go on Kill Tony, he does Bill Maher on it all the time. But
that's probably where I heard it from. Then okay.
Here's an interesting magic spell he told me happened to him. He once dated a chick briefly that was a stripper, but he didn't know until after they stopped seeing each other. Okay, we were crying. We were in a green room laughing about this. He goes, but he was like, looking back now, it was like suspicious. She would go, she told him she was a shoe model. Like, which, have you ever heard of that? She just
like a foot model,
she just wears shoes because she's a stripper. She was like doing a.
Oh, okay. No, I heard of that. Using that context.
No, I never have either. He met her from an acting class, and then when they would go to her place, there was some billboard for the strip club, I guess, that was in Hollywood, like not far from there. And she would go, yeah, this is a strip club, and they put a billboard up, and the girl looks just like me. And he goes, oh, that's weird. No, you don't understand. She looks exactly like me. So she fucking mental programmed him ahead of time. This dude, as the carpet, so the drapes. I don't have to tell you that. You could scale that trick up. So you see how you throw someone off? And then, like, dude, there's some chick you want to fuck from acting class. You're not going to think too hard about it until after it goes wrong, right? Because you already got the oxytocin and the fucking those victory chemicals in you that make you not think somebody's going to do something. Fucking amazing. It's just manipulation. That's all this shit is people studying how to manipulate and learning NLP, which is like you touch someone and, hey, tell me about your vacation, and you touch them. So you get happy juice out of the brain and touch you, and then I start making you Pavlov associate things with certain things. That's magic for you. Yay. And that's where we live. That's all the super chats. All right. Thank God. I feel like it's look, I'm going to tell all of you that. Oh, you got books, don't you? Do you want to go plug them? Because I think you got a great thing about the island.
Yeah, I got 9 books on Amazon Audible, a couple on aliens.
Audible.
Aliens, UFOs, and the Occult. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. It's a fun dive through the occult history of aliens.
I'm so yeah, I'm gonna get that, dude. I'm so glad it's on Audible because my eyes fucking suck, dude.
Yeah, I prefer audiobooks too. Unless it's a book I'm doing for research and I got to take notes, then I'll either do the Kindle or I'll do the old school thing. But
I had to buy glasses to read this book on your family of the Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier that a fan brought. And I had to buy like big fucking, it was crazy. The prescriptions on my eyes look like fucking, if you were on the right drugs, you would think it was an alien abduction coming at you just looking at my eyes through glasses. Okay, that's the thing. Okay. What's the one about the alien? I'm going to actually literally download that right now, dude.
Oh, it's called Aliens, UFOs, and the Occult. Use Your Illusion 1. And then I got a second one, Use Your Illusion 2. That's that walks through a variety of movies that explains the symbolism and the ideas I presented in the first book and how they plant these messages in the films.
Real short, like what do you think the aliens are? Would you say the gist is? Like I always go, Jazz Jabroni asked me, I'm like, I think interdimensional trillionaires transhuman and can no longer transhuman back, and now they got to vampirize off of you for some reason. If I had to throw that out there, that's what I don't think that's terrible.
I'm more of the it comes through my Christian Orthodox worldview, so like that's the caveat. If you don't believe that, I don't give a shit. That's fine.
I don't care.
I'm letting people know that's where this comes from.
I know it could be whatever. I just want to hear the data.
I think it's like we're looking at a transdimensional angels and demons. Basically, that's the short version. Angels and demons, and you can see the history of the occult and contact with these entities for forever. And I think it's just like we were talking about this whole show. It's the same stuff over and over. It's the same patterns over and over. And the new one is AI, which could be very well entities that are trapped, watcher spirits that are trapped in this other dimension, and they want to download into a human body, and they're trying to get us to sort of facilitate that transfer.
Well, when they say they got stagnant DNA and DNA, their DNA is stagnant. They always talk about, how would your DNA be stagnant in a 3-dimensional reality? It wouldn't be. Evolution is change over time, or like entropy, right? Am I getting any of this wrong? If you're 5-dimensional and timeless, then that's stagnant. That means you don't have entropy. You have this, you're locked in. And let's say you're let's just say something wacky. So you're some Nazi fucking occultist piece of shit that figured out some warp thing, and you sent a bunch of blue-eyed blondies to Aldebaran 50 million light years away. So that means now, by the time they get there, they existed before we exist, because that's just how it works. And now, because they're in the past and they can travel faster than light, they can just come and seed the earth with their DNA and then go, well, the good people are the Indo-Aryans who blah, blah, blah. And I've heard people say references in the Wilder stories about Illuminati guys sending their DNA back. or like an old Doctor Who episode they went because someone sent their DNA back and some lizards were trying to, dude. I think they've rerun this shit a lot, and I think it's not going how they want. Do you know what I mean? Like I think we might have looked like something different maybe in another revision, and it's way deeper than Berenstein versus Berenstain Bears. It's a thing that's real, and you're getting, and there's still probably visions of it, and it's in a bunch of like fiction and whatever, but there's a theme of like some shit left over from the old times, right?
Yeah, I think it's very complicated, very complex, and I don't think normal mouth breathers like me are really going to understand it and have access to all of the information about what's really going on. No. But what is clear to me is that they are suppressing the truth. They're sort of suppressing our consciousness to keep us sort of tied into this Roman bread and circus 3-dimensional reality, arguing about NFL and politics and stuff. Because
somebody messaged in my Lazarus, so the circus is boring and the bread is stale. That bottom line, I'm like, oh, this is stale. I'm not smart. The bread is stale and the circus is boring. Couldn't put it better myself. So I guess your shitbag lizard kids don't run the projector as good as the old lizards did,
yeah, it could be, but I think that if they could, they think they're very, very close with this AI singularity thing coming. They think they're very close to achieving this final goal of uploading digital consciousness into the universe. And
so that's the thing in all the secret space program stories, that they have to now fight in other dimensions, the AI that they made. Do you know that I'm not talking about the blue avian guy with the whatever. Because
Corey Good.
Now, look, there's absolutely a secret space program. I'm not saying it's all the Star Wars adventures that you might hear about with it, but there's a military space program. That's why Space Force was consolidated, right? Because all this stuff is in different departments that compete and blah, blah, blah. And it's also, I'm sure, some deep occult significance of some kind, There's that Collins Elite book about how they were fundamentalist Christians that were using the aliens to assault. They don't sound like Christians. They sound like fucking scumbag witches. That's what witches do. They contact non-human entities to try to kill people with them. I know that's not a Christian practice.
Are you talking about the Nick Redfern book, Final Events? Okay, all right. I didn't know if there was another book because there's not a lot of information about this. I talk about the Collins Elite in the book, but there's not a ton of info.
Well, the Collins, that's a bloodline name.
Yeah,
Barnabas Collins, the vampire from
Dark Shadows. That's a good point. Yeah,
the Collins, I think, are the first. They pride themselves on being the first witches in the New World or something. But anyway, they fucking. I'm sure they framed people who weren't witches for witchcraft and got away with witchcraft the way it's done. And so Collins Elite, the name Collins, immediately should trigger something of like, well, that's weird. You don't act like Christians and your name is Collins. And then it's this George W. Bush they've teamed up with also in the book, correct? And they realize the only way to fight these demon aliens is to follow the Torah. Well, then now you definitely don't sound like Christians. You sound like some weird Kabbalist fucking Fruit Loop group that the same as what America is built on. Stupid shit like IHOP and all those other fucking CIA, PSYOP, creepy ass Kabbalah religions. That's what controls you. It's not just the Jews. It's not just don't blame any one group, because the groups they're all in multiple groups. They're all in multiple groups. Like to get into a good college, a good invisible college, you got to be in all the clubs, right?
Yeah, so I think that's well put. Yeah.
All that matters is if you're cool enough to keep your trap shut about what we're going to do to your kids, but you'll never be poor. And we already know
it might come down to that. It might just be that simple. It's
the only way you move up. It's the only way you'll move up. That's what the sacrifice is. That's why that's why you sacrifice to Baal. The blood sacrifice of that is the most important thing in the world to a thing that is finite. And that's why it needs 0 point energy, which would be God's energy, right? The something from nothing. That's what they're always talking about, 0 point energy. That's to them, that's Ein Sof, I guess you'd call it, the unknowable energy source. They got to feed off of you. Everything's a vampire here, right? They can't produce it. They can only drain off of you. Diddy doesn't make rap. He can't rap. He can only drain off of people that can rap and sing. He's a good actor. I thought he was a very funny actor in that movie, to his credit. All right. We have a long time. All right. Thanks for coming on, man. I'm sorry.
Cool.
I said this is the best run podcast, but it's not.
I think you're doing great. This is great. This is good stuff. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait to live. I'm gonna listen to your books now. All right, everybody. That's you just got derped.